Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of We the Doctors. My name is Dr. Jules. If you are planning on tuning onto another channel, please, you want to rethink that because we're going to enlighten you about everything concerning your health in a lighthearted manner. So we are talking about cataracts today. Cataracts. I'm sure most of you have heard of it. The funny thing is it can be prevented if you know what it is and the options that are available to us. It is one of the leading cause of blindness worldwide. According to the Nigerian National Blindness and Vision Impairment Survey, 42 people above 40 out of 1,000 people, okay, are blind. And 2 out of the 3 of that 42 could have been prevented if they knew that the cause of their blindness was cataracts, because it can be cured, okay? So you want to listen. If you are somebody that you have a parent or you know someone that could be fighting with this condition, you want to listen up to find out what the options are. So you have our eye model here. I'm sure most of you can appreciate this is where the light goes in through the eye, okay? I'm going to disassemble. Dr. Yvonne usually does this. Oh my goodness. Boom, there it goes. So I want to take out the front part of the eye because we are going to focus on the lens itself. We have the cornea, this part is the iris, but behind this is the lens. That's this transparent part, okay? So this is actually covering it. You know, we have like a camera that wants to focus. That's what the iris does. And then the iris is now over the lens itself. That's where the light goes through, and then we can perceive vision. Yeah. In cataracts, what happens is this lens now becomes cloudy, and then vision is then impaired. You can imagine if it is a glass, for instance, and it is not clear. Of course, you can't see anything.
The simple way to look at this is always to think about your phone camera.
Yeah. Even you're driving the windscreen in the car.
So but I like to use the phone camera because eventually it snaps.
It's
so you
wonder,
okay, I'm about to take a picture, but this screen is scratched.
Exactly.
And that's actually what the cataract is, like the scratch. Like it's cloudy lens of the camera. So,
exactly. Which brings us to the symptoms of this condition. Yeah. The first one I would like to talk about is blurred vision, which is very explanatory. The window of the eye is blurred. It's cloudy. You will not be able, and that's one of the first complaints that the patient will come up with.
Dr. Jules,
I told you that they cannot see.
I want to come down to local balance. It is not blood like red blood for animals.
Okay, blurred.
Because someone is going to come to the hospital and is not going to say, doctor, but my own is white, it is not red. That is not what we mean.
Yes.
We're talking about cloudy vision.
Exactly.
Looks like you're seeing smoke.
Exactly, in front of your eyes.
Exactly, something like that. And again,
happening.
there's poor night vision. Is in line with what she talked about now, talking about the blurring of vision. People that also drive, there's something that happens. People that drive at night tend to perceive this feeling of, when an oncoming vehicle, as in has the headlight on,
in front of you,
it appears a lot brighter than normal. So there's something called glare. So that one too actually happens. So all these things as in impair night
So that, let me get what you're trying to say in essence is that people will drive at night, and if I'm driving and there's an incoming vehicle, and then the light is bright, and if the light is
because
brighter
of
than
because of the particles on your windscreen,
then that means that it's a sign of cataract. So now, do I blame those people that have been telling me to reduce my light?
No, I'm going to.
That their light is
no,
does that mean that they all have cataract?
You have to understand what the
things are
people is
changes
saying.
that actually occur over time.
You
must have known as in what it feels like
normal light that is.
Thank you. Even sometimes even up to sunlight.
No, I just want to know so that I can tell people that tell me to dim my light and tell them that you have cataract.
No, Wale, no, that's not exactly. Look at it this way. When you're driving your car, the windscreen is clear. You don't really complain much about those guys.
Absolutely.
Bright lights on your face.
But when that light
once you have particles on your windscreen,
you
begin to complain about the bright lights. That's what Dr. Yvonne is saying.
Exactly.
She's not saying she get out
and
of her
even
car
up
and
to
fight
sunlight,
somebody.
some people actually start perceiving, as in it's not like it's brighter than normal. Everything seems over exactly.
In fact, in some people, you notice that there's a change in color vision. They don't see colors properly anymore. Now, that is to say they see something like red and they tell you it's pink, and they see something
there was
like
There was a recent stuff like that. There was a color they were using test people.
Yes.
And some people were seeing blue and black. Some said it was white and gold.
The
dress.
Exactly.
No, but that doesn't mean
That was a good way to tell people that had
cataracts.
cataracts.
So if they see something that is brown, they probably will call it what?
Maybe they may think it's wine.
Light.
No, but this is different from color blindness.
Yes.
And it's also different because the spectrum of color blindness, the colors you normally see, you get to see them, but the difference here is you begin to lose the deep sensation of color. That's to say you see red and you think it's pink.
All right. One more symptom you may find out with people with cataract is the fact that most times you always go back to the optometrist, all right, or the ophthalmologist, as the case may be, to complain about your eyes, and then realize that most times they're always getting changes in their lenses.
Yes.
So if you go today, they give you plus 0.50. Tomorrow you go back again plus 2.50.
Because
then you know that
it's increasing
that might just
at that
be
time.
exactly. Yeah. It might just be a sign that you're beginning to have cataract, and I think the best thing is to go and have a proper eye check.
Okay, we have to wrap it up right now. When we come back, we'll talk more about the causes. We've been talking about cataract. You want to find out what causes cataract? Don't go far, because we'll be back after this. Would you like to boost your immunity? Doctor says, have plenty of sleep, be very active, eat healthy foods, and then your immunity will be way up there. And that's what doctor says.
Coming up next.
Cataracts we're talking about. The simple thing about it, like Dr. Jules explained earlier, is just that there's a blurring or clouding of the normal lens of the eye. I'm not talking about your contact lenses now anyway. Your normal eye lens, there's a clouding of that area leading to decrease in vision. Hi, you're welcome back. It's With the Doctors. We've been talking about cataracts. Now we're going to be talking about the causes of cataracts. I'm Dr. Yvonne. But before we start, let me give a brief explanation as to what cataract is all about. We talked about it earlier, saying that it's the leading cause of blindness worldwide. You'll be surprised to know that these cataracts we're talking about, the simple thing about it, like Dr. Jules explained earlier, is just that there's a blurring or clouding of the normal lens of the eye. I'm not talking about your contact lenses now anyway. Your normal eye lens, there's a clouding of that area leading to decrease in vision. So people can actually see the way they ought to. There are so many things that actually cause cataracts. But let me start with the first one. I like to talk about age. Most people think that this is an age-related ailment, so to say. To an extent, yes. But let me explain this. As we grow older, things change in the body. The lens itself is made up of water and made up of proteins. So as things change, so to say, these proteins that make up the lens change, what we call denaturing. So now they begin to clump together in certain areas of the eye. So when they're clumping on the lens, so you can see that they are blocking normal light penetration the way it ought to be normally. So people see it as obscurity. It's like looking through a cloudy glass, like we explained before. This now, over time, begins to get bigger, bigger, and bigger, and eventually will lead to loss of vision. So age-related cataract, like they say, is responsible for 51% of the world's blindness. That's about 20 million people. Wow. So you can imagine what we're talking about here.
Dr. Yvonne, this is what I believe in. I believe that if you leave anybody's lens long enough, the dying conversion or dying structure of every lens will end up being a cataract. It sounds off, but the reason is, it's just like people, if you leave someone's black hair, as a person ages, what happens?
It begins to.
Yeah. So it grays, and then we say that is aging of the hair. I just believe it. It's just that science is yet to pinpoint it.
You know that the external factors too can come into play, and other predisposition as well. Because if we say everybody is going to have gray hair, that means everybody is going to have cataract. So we cannot put it generalized that way.
Let me even add now, since you mentioned external factors, let me start from the internal factors.
Okay.
Another thing that can lead to cataracts are genetics.
Right,
People's genetics.
Yes.
And then, in addition to genetics, congenital conditions. I'll explain what that means. Now, for genetics, talk about things like Down syndrome. it was inherited.
Yeah.
So in association to the Down syndrome, you can have a child that has
That's
a
all.
cataract from birth.
Sure.
Or has early predisposition to developing cataracts from birth. Not because the child is older, not because the child has done anything external to affect the eye, but basically because this child has a genetic predisposition to cataract.
Genetic abnormality.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that can make the higher tendency of developing a cataract. Some are even born with a cataract, in which case say is a congenital cataract. It's simple to explain. You see some people with gray hair at 22 years. It's just because they have a genetic predisposition in some conditions. So in this child, imagine that same genetic predisposition. Wow, it's like a tongue twister. So imagine that genetic predisposition.
Also genetic pre.
Making the person have a cataract.
Absolutely. Another thing you can realize is trauma to the eye can also cause cataract. So you want to be very careful with your eyes, you know, so that it's not the eye is not somewhere you joke around with and have someone stab the eye or
blow
your
or
eye.
You know that's why.
That will
you know
now
that's-
take me to PPEs again, protective gear. Wearing something to protect your eyes,
It's the
especially
two
if
of you
you're
that
doing
always
a
talking
particular-
about it because I doubt if you guys really have problems with your eyes. They wear these things to protect their eyes.
Well, another reason why I wear my glasses is because when I went to see the ophthalmologist, they told me something about radiation. Always staring into the computer, I needed to protect my
absolutely.
glasses. So we had to
Absolutely.
do
So anti-reflective.
exactly for my
Yes.
lenses.
Yes.
So that's another thing. Radiation
So they
too
want
can
me to wear
affect.
glasses with them.
Radiation too can affect your eyes. Some people will say, "Oh, I don't wear glasses." It goes beyond, "Oh,
Wearing
can I
glasses,
read or
yeah.
can't I read?" You know, we've been talking about these things. If you are working in an environment where you're exposed to several types of radiation, heat, and all that, you are going to cause this disruption to the structure of your lenses. So you want to consider that. Some people do wear glasses just because of the anti-reflective
aspect of it.
yes, that have been put on the lenses to protect their eyes. So you want to consider that.
Lead to
Exactly.
cataract.
And like I said before, please, it's not only senior citizens that actually suffer from this cataract. It can be present sometimes even in middle ages,
Yeah,
but
so-
you don't actually see it. That obscuring of vision doesn't occur till later in life. So you might always want to get your eyes checked.
As early as possible.
Exactly, to prevent any further damage. So we'll be asking questions today, and the question we're asking today is, what is a cataract? Please stay tuned.
I wonder who knows
We'll be
what
right
it
back.
is.
Don't go anywhere.
Hello and welcome back to the show. It's We the Doctors. Today we are having an interview at the Eye Doctors with an ophthalmologist, and we are still discussing our topic, cataracts. Please welcome Dr. Abiola Oyeleye to the show.
Thank you very much. It's good to be on the show.
I used to have this joke, once I hear your name, the first thing that comes to my head is Oyel Eye, because being a consultant in ophthalmology is just about the eye. So our question, as people always like to ask, is what are the causes of cataract? Every time we say cataracts, what are the causes of cataracts?
Okay, thank you. The most common cause of cataracts by far is age.
Okay.
As we get older, we will all get cataracts. No exceptions.
Wow.
No exceptions. If you want to get old, cataracts will come. Now, it doesn't mean that you need to have surgery, okay? Cataract is simply, at that stage, a sign of age. It's just like you get older, you get gray hair, or you lose a hair, or your skin becomes wrinkled. That's the same way the lens in the eye becomes a bit cloudy and hardened, and it's what we call a cataract.
Now, apart from age, are there things that people do that you can say would increase their chances of having a cataract?
Yes, let's probably start with the youngest age group.
Okay.
Some children are born with cataracts, and we call those congenital cataracts. That might be due to some medication the mother may have taken within the first 3 months of pregnancy, or it might be due to some illnesses or some viral problems the mother may have been exposed to during the first 3 months of pregnancy. So they are now born, and within a week or so, straight away you notice they have cataracts. Others develop cataracts very early in life, some as teenagers, some in their 20s, 30s, 40s and onwards. But the older you are, the more likely you are to have cataracts for whatever reasons. There are some conditions like diabetes that makes you more prone to have cataracts. There are some eye conditions when you have inflammation within the eye that makes you more likely to have cataracts. Sometimes trauma, if you are punched in the eye or a foreign body or an object goes into your eye and touches the lens, you'll end up developing a cataract, and that might happen instantaneously. Sometimes it's due to medication we take. If you look at various medication, there are some that are prone, or that you are is a possibility you get cataracts as a side effect. And most doctors are aware of this, so they are mindful as to what they give you. But it could be due to a variety of causes, people having cataracts.
Okay. Usually in our general practice clinics, patients come and they keep asking, when is it ripe? So I'm going to ask directly, when is it ripe? That is to say, when is a cataract ripe?
Yes.
And ripe for what?
Okay. A cataract is not a fruit.
Yeah.
Yes. However, what the terminology means, or what people use it for, is when is it ready for surgery.
Okay.
Recently, we've tended as ophthalmologists to move away from the concept of being ripe or not being ripe. Basically, before, it's when it looks mature for surgery, people will say, oh, it is ripe. But nowadays, you don't get that for various reasons. We have technology now that can take out a cataract at any stage. And a cataract that affects somebody would have a completely different effect on a cataract that affects somebody else, probably a different occupation.
Yeah.
For example, a librarian or an accountant who are used to reading all the time or dealing with small figures, a little bit of opacification or clouding of the lens in the eye, which is a cataract, will cause them a lot of problems. But somebody whose job is probably an outdoor job, maybe a farmer, he could have a lot of problems with the lens. It's very opaque, and he says, oh, I can see everything I want to see. There's no problem.
So it's possible that for the farmer, the fruit in the farm may be ripe and his cataract is not ripe.
Yes.
if we use that term. Now, but before we talk about surgeries, are there medications one can take?
Yes.
Either to slow down the process or to help his eye, I don't know.
There is no medication proven to slow down cataracts in peer-reviewed journals. A lot of people say this medication works, that medication works, that medication works. You can read a million articles, and there is no education or no article that has been, or no medication that has been proven to slow down or stop cataracts. When people have cataracts, initially they end up changing their glasses several times.
Yeah.
And they find out that after changing their glasses, it's still the same thing. The definitive treatment for cataracts is surgery. The ophthalmologist goes in, takes the cataract out, and replaces it with an intraocular lens. I actually have a sample of the intraocular lens here. Now, it's a very small lens that goes in the eye, and this technology started in the Second World War.
Okay.
They found out that a lot of the airplane pilots were shot down, and the glass from the windscreen went in their eye and just stayed there without causing any reaction. And they now did more research on that, and they found out that these plastic screens could stay in the eye without any problem. Now, this was probably about 1945.
Yeah.
So we're looking at 70 years down the line. The technology of lenses has improved greatly. And we put the lens in. When we take the cataract out, like I said, the cataract is the natural lens that we are born with. When we take the cataract out, we put this tiny lens in the eye.
Wow.
It is so small, probably now, that you probably won't appreciate it, but maybe if I put it against my blazer, you can see the water. But this lens stays in the eye, and when we do cataract surgeries in babies, you can put the lens in, and if they live for 100 years, this lens should cause them no problem. So the lens can stay in the eye forever. That's one thing a lot of people ask, that you mean you're going to put that in my eye?
And it will stay there.
And it will stay there forever. Yes, it's put in the eye, it stays there forever, and we don't expect any reaction.
Yeah. To help our viewers at home, there is one common question they come with. They say, if you're going to put, as in their own terms, if you're going to put that glass in my eyes, why don't you give me the one that will wear outside? So,
Very, very, very good question. You know, in the past, how you know people who've had cataract surgery? They come with very, very thick glasses, like the bottom of a Coca-Cola bottle. Very, very thick glasses. That's because they used to take the cataracts out and didn't put a lens in the eye. Now you put a lens in the eye, and they just probably need glasses just to sharpen things. And it's just normal glasses like anybody would use. But in the past, when you don't put a lens in the eye, they come out with very, very thick glasses.
all right. Dr. Ele, one last question.
Thank you.
How are the results after eye surgery, cataract surgery?
Right. There was a survey in Nigeria, which we call the Nigerian Blindness Survey, between 2005 and 2008. And it was a very big survey all over the country. Unfortunately, what the survey showed was that a sizable amount of the population will go to the local malams for eye surgery. And they do the local surgery, and they do a procedure called couching. And if we look in history, this couching has been going on for 1,000 or 2,000 years. What they essentially do is they rub a little stick on the eye and push it forcibly on the eye, dislodging the cataract into the back of the eye. And the person says, I can see, and after some time may develop complications like retinal problems. If you have your cataracts done the modern way, the success rate is between 95 to 98%. Mind you, I didn't say 100%, because not every operation is successful. But one thing a lot of people say is that, oh, someone had cataract surgery, the patient went blind. The 95 to 98% success rate I'm talking about is if you take away other problems with the eye. A lot of people have glaucoma, which we'll talk about now, and it's a very advanced stage. And when they do cataract surgery, the blindness may be from glaucoma, but they will blame it on the surgery they've had. So going back to your question, the success rate of cataract surgery is very high, 95 to 98% if it is done the conventional way. There are many types of operations for cataract surgery. You have what they call the phacoemulsification, which is the ultrasound probe, which in Nigeria people call laser.
Yeah.
And then when you go abroad, they say, oh, your doctor is deceiving you. There's nothing called laser for cataract surgery. It's phacoemulsification. Having said that, a new technique is being developed to have laser cataract surgery. You have other types of techniques where you take out the cataracts by making openings on the eye, and the openings, depending on how bad the cataract is, you might need to make the opening quite big or whatever. But those ones also have good results. It's just that the results are probably after you've had to take out stitches or in a few months. But usually, cataract surgery on the conventional way, you have very good results.
Wow. Dr. Abiola, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me.
So that has been the interview with Dr. Abiola Oyeleye. He's a consultant ophthalmologist at the Eye Doctors, and we had a good time with him discussing cataracts. Let's get back to the show and stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hello and you're welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is We the Doctors. My name is Dr. Valeria. We have been talking about cataract. It's been very interesting and enlightening for you to understand, what cataract is and how it affects our sight and our vision. On this segment, we're talking about the ways we can prevent cataract. Okay.
I'll start from what you and Dr. Jules have already explained. You've already explained to us that you wear glasses because they are trying to protect your eyes from the UV rays. Right. And that's actually true. The more your eyes are exposed to these things, the higher the tendency of damage or change in the protein to occur to your lens, and then you develop cataract. So protect your eyes. I can't imagine people welding.
Welding with their eyes.
And then they just, open eyes. I even complain when they wear these normal glasses. There's not the proper thing.
True.
And then somebody's welding and is doing, no, it's not proper. So
Exactly.
protect
Or they
your
wear
eyes.
sunshades
Yeah.
because
Wear
those ones are not protective enough as well.
Then again, nutrition is
Exactly.
very important. You want to eat foods rich in fruits and vegetables that have high antioxidant
Vitamin
property.
A.
Exactly.
Carrots and the
Vitamin
like.
C, vitamin E. People wondering, well, where can I find vitamin E? You can find it in spinach, in almonds, things like that. Food rich in all these things prevents, if at all, prevents the progression of this particular.
Then smoking as well.
Yeah.
We'll soon create our banner, our infamous banner. Stop smoking, stop alcohol.
Yeah.
I say stop.
I think
Some
we should
people
just
say
get it and hang
reduce.
it somewhere in the studio.
Honestly, then when
Yeah,
it's
there.
time, we'll just bring it up.
And
Ding,
then
ding,
we
ding,
just
ding,
project it,
ding.
quit smoking.
Quit smoking because it has been related
And then we'll have a
to
smoke-free
cataract.
environment one day.
It has been related to cataract. It has been related to a lot of things, to
So
be
many
honest.
things,
I don't think there's any episode that we didn't talk about stop
But
smoking.
they already said it already when you talk about smoking. You know what goes after.
Exactly. It leads to an...
And then finally, one of the most important things you always have to do to prevent cataract or any form of eye illness is that you need to always do a comprehensive eye examination.
Please.
All right. So once in a while, at least once in a year, go see an ophthalmologist. All right, and then get your eyes reviewed.
Today, we've been talking about cataracts. I'm sure you now know better. Who are you going to see when you have that problem? You see the ophthalmologist, isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't go and meet the optician, somebody that changes lens for you, okay? And don't be proud to say that, oh, I've lived all my life, I've never been to the eye doctor. You have to have that certification from the specialist saying, yes, you have a 20/20 vision, okay? Do not make that diagnosis
on your
yourself.
own.
On your own, it's very risky. So that is it. If you have more questions, follow us at We The Doctors, and then we'll get back to you. Watch all of our episodes on cooltv.cool. For myself
Even on
and my
YouTube as
colleagues,
well.
and on YouTube as well. Just type in
We The
We The
Doctors,
Doctors, and you can
yeah.
watch our past episodes. So we're saying
Bye-bye, guys.
bye and stay healthy.